Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This is part 2 in a series of how much we spent on groceries in Canada. I gave myself a challenge of trying to spend $600 for the month, and I feel like I am right on track. So if you watched my last video, we left off where I had roughly, I would say, like $140 left. Today is the 10th of July, which means I have 2 more weeks left and I have $140 left, which means I can spend roughly about 70 something dollars every week. And the way I try to make this work is by shopping things that are on sale and just building a stash so that I'm never buying things full price. One example of that is some chicken that I just bought at Walmart. So I bought chicken breast. Meat, I would say chicken is usually about $6-7 a kg, but this chicken breast was on sale for about $4 a kg, which I thought was pretty good. They also had pineapple on sale for $3 for one, which I think is pretty good because usually I've seen it for about $5-6. So I got 2 of them. Both of them I will let get ripe. One of them will eat fresh, and then the other one I might probably cut it up and freeze it for future use. So yeah, that was a random purchase because of the sale, but I am gonna do my shopping for the week next week, which means I have even less money to spend for the week, but that's okay because most of the things in our house are still in stock. I think I would just probably get a few more fruits, maybe some milk and eggs, but that's about it. So I feel like we are on track, and I'm excited to see if I am able to keep in my $600 range. Guys, so I just came from the supermarket. I just finished doing my weekly run to the supermarket. I'm under the weather. I seem to have caught a bug, so my eyes are watery, my lips are dry, yada yada. But I wanted to talk because I feel like if I left this for when I was editing, I would forget a few things that I wanted to say. And one of those things was that I actually tried to Instacart today. Since I wasn't feeling well, I figured I would Instacart, because I think when you sign up for the first time, you get the first 3 months free if you order above a certain amount. So I was gonna Instacart, but when I started adding things to my cart, the prices were just not the same as the flyer that we receive every week.
So for example, watermelon was on special for $4.99, but Instacart it was like $6.50. Grapes was on special for like $3.99 I think, but on Instacart it was like $7 or something like that. So I feel like if I used Instacart, I would not have been able to get as many things as I wanted because I would have less money to spend. So there's that. The other thing I wanted to mention was that when you're in the store, you can find coupons like these. I've seen them before, but I never picked them up because I didn't know what they were. But there's this Instagram page that I follow. She's called Coupon Cutie Canada or something like that, where she shares different deals in different stores in Canada. And one of the things she does is that whenever she sees these coupons, if it's something that she's interested in, she picks it up. This one expires on the 31st of October of this year, and it is for the packet of Armstrong cheese, and you save $1.50. And what I learned from her was that sometimes these products go on sale. So let's say a packet costs like $3, right? And then Superstore is having a special, so it's like $2.50 or $2 whatever. And then you have this coupon, then you're actually paying just 50 cents for whatever it is. So I saw these today, I picked them up, and my plan is whenever I see some of these coupons, I'll pick them up and save them. So that was the other thing. And then the other thing I wanted to discuss was how much I spent and how much it fit into the budget and all of that. So in terms of the budget, so as I've spoken previously, the goal is to spend $600 a month on groceries, and plan is once a month I go to the supermarket, do a big grocery haul, and then whatever is left I split that for the week. So this month when I did that, I think I was left like maybe about $125 a week, but then every week I probably bought something that reduces a little more. So for example, this week I went to Walmart. They had chicken breast on sale. I really wanted to take advantage of that, so I took that. And then they also had pineapples on sale as well, so I took that. That was $20. And then our leave-in conditioner that I use in my hair and the girls, it's almost done, so I bought one on Walmart, and so that was an additional $12. So I had to take off like 20, 30 something dollars from what I had for the week. So between this week and next week, I was supposed to spend $62 this week and $62 next week. This week I spent $77. Well, technically I spent $67 because I had some points and I redeemed those. So everything came up to $77, but technically I only spent $67. I knew I would go over budget in the store because one, I was supposed to buy eggs for $4, like just a dozen eggs, because we have some. I just wanted to add to that, but the 30 eggs were on special for like $8, so I got that. So that was already $4 more than I had budgeted for. Also, they had plantains. They don't always have plantains, and I feel like whenever I see plantains I want them, so I got some of that. So that was an additional $4. And then I went with one of the kids, and they wanted like the bottled yogurt, and I got one for each of them, so that was an extra $2. So 4 and 2, that's an extra $10. So I knew I would be like roughly $10 over budget, which is fine, because while I'm challenging myself to spend $600 a month, like, I don't know, I don't want to feel strangled, but I feel really good so far. I'm right on track. I'm going to keep the $62 that I'm supposed to spend next week and just say that I will be $10 over budget so far. Last week I was $20 over budget. I took that into account and I took it off for this week and next week. That's why my weekly amount was just $60. So I'll see you guys next week when we go shopping for our last week in July. So my grand total for the month of July is
$640. So I was $40 over budget. I planned to spend $600 and I actually spent $640. I'm actually very good with that. Like I said, we try to be on a budget, we try to be thrifty and frugal, but at the same time we don't want to feel like stifled. I don't feel like I was very frivolous in my shopping, so I'm very good with $640. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. One of the reasons why I wanted to film it is because when you move to Canada and you do a lot of research, one of the number one things you hear is Canada is so expensive and food and groceries are so expensive, and that was a concern for us. But I feel like from the time that we've spent here, groceries definitely are more expensive than the US, and I feel like that's what a lot of people do. They compare Canada to the US. So I think it's more expensive than the US, but it is definitely cheaper than where I'm from. The thing about groceries is that it is usually, after rent, it's usually one of the things that people spend the most money on. And I feel like it's also an excuse to overspend as well, you know, because you're buying food and you need food. And so it's very easy to overspend on groceries and consider that a necessity. Whereas a lot of things that we buy for groceries can be considered wants, even if food is a necessity. And one of the reasons why I wanted to share this challenge is because I just think it's important, especially in the age of social media and you having a peek into a lot of people's lives, not knowing the financial background that they come from, or where they're getting the money, or how much money they're getting, whether they're using credit or their own money, and all of that kind of thing. It's very easy to compare what you are capable of to some person on the internet, and you have no idea, you know, what their background is. Even family and friends, sometimes you don't even know like what their financial background is, and you know, you can compare yourself and feel down about what you are capable of and what you are doing, not having a full picture of other people. And I just wanted to, I don't like this phrase, but you know, these days they say normalize this and normalize that. But one of the ideas of me sharing is because I really would like to normalize real people with budgets. You know, it's not that everyone is out there living their best lives, buying whatever they want whenever they want. You know, there are real people who have real budgets, who have real financial goals, and because of those goals they are practicing discipline in the way they spend their money, etc., etc. And so this is where our family is at this point in time. We decided to put, you know, like a number on what we want to spend, and that is the goal. I'm the primary person who takes care of our household, and I in terms of like, you know, like spending on groceries and whatever. And so that kind of responsibility falls on me, and I think it's super important to be disciplined in that area, and I think it's important to share that as well. You know, sometimes I think it can look like everybody's buying something except you know, but real people have real goals and real budgets, etc., etc. I don't know how long the $600 a month is gonna last us, but that is the plan for now. A few things that I wanted to note that I felt like I didn't speak enough about during the video. One, best before and an expiration date is not the same. So a best before, I'll have an article linked in the description box below. Best before is the date which the company who's selling the item guarantees that it is at its best and at its freshest or its most nutritious. So if you buy an item and the best before, for example, is tomorrow, it doesn't mean that tomorrow or the day after that it's going to go bad. It just means that tomorrow is the ideal time where it's going to be the freshest ever. So a lot of the time meat goes on sale when it's approaching the best before date, and a lot of the time the meat is in the fridge. It's not frozen. And so if you are on a tight budget and you're looking to save money, do not be scared of buying an item that has a best before date that is very soon. Best before does not mean that it is no longer good after that date. And I would encourage, maybe if you can invest in a vacuum sealer, you could definitely get those items on sale, save a couple of bucks, vacuum seal it and save it in your freezer or chest freezer if you have one of those. So that's one of the things that I wanted to note. The other thing that I wanted to talk about also was the idea of buying organic. I know a lot of people are very concerned about their health, as you rightly should be, but something being organic is, from the research that I've done, and I'll link a few articles in the description box below so you can have a look at it yourself, but it is mainly a marketing scheme. Most of the foods that are organic, they have a higher price range. Pesticides are still using them, and there have been lots of studies that have shown that they have no superior nutritional value over foods that are not organic. Those are all things that play a role in, you know, how much you're able to spend on your budget, because, you know, buying organic is more expensive, etc, etc. But that's just something to take into account. You know, like, I don't buy organic. I think it's a marketing scheme. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, because I think somebody commented about me feeding the kids sausages, which is fine. I love that you guys a rabbit. I love that you guys are concerned for my kids. I love that. Thank you so much for your concern. But I'm not somebody who practices restrictive eating. Obviously, I promote a very well balanced and healthy diet, which includes eating as much whole foods as possible, fruits, vegetables, as little processed food as possible. But I am not somebody who avoids all of those things in totality. So we like pizza, we like cheese, we like pasta and rice and bread. So we eat those things. But more than restricting the things that are not bad for you, I try to include more things that are good for you. So I give my kids cake and cookies, obviously not in excess. I try to make sure that they eat more fruits and vegetables more than anything else, that we feed them, you know, real whole food. But things like sausage and, you know, like other processed foods, they're not totally off. They're not totally, how do you say, like, it's not, you know, restricted in my house. Like, they can eat it. We don't overdo it. We try not to overdo it. And there are some seasons when we do overdo it and then we have to pull back, you know, like, it's all dynamic. But all of those things are things that play a role in terms of how much you spend. So some people might think that $600 is not enough by any means, and some people think that it is very generous. All depends on what your eating habits are like, what your spending habits are like, and all of those kinds of things. So I hope this video was useful. The main thing that I want to come out of this is that sometimes when you have goals, financial goals, having a budget, being on a budget is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not anything to be ashamed of. And I hope this inspired you to stick to your budget, or try to stick to a budget. Make it into a fun game, a challenge, you know. Invite another mom friend along for the journey. Those are things that you can do to trick yourself into doing things that you don't necessarily want to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new and you're not subscribed. It was a pleasure having you guys come along with me throughout the month, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya. Bye.